ISIS dragging invaders out of courtrooms. Protesters are getting zip-tied in Trump Tower. And Trump's DOJ just flipped the switch on NYC. This ain't just a raid, y'all. The left says nobody gets due process either. Really? Because this man just had it, and when he lost it, the system did his job. But now they crying over deportation like it's optional. They don't want a system. They want a loophole. Watch what happens when America actually enforces the rules.
Out the way, bro. Out the way. We'll get knocked down. Move.
Ooh. Now look, you can kick, you can scream, cry in the hallway, but it doesn't change the facts. America is done playing babysitter to people who defy our laws and then demand a reward. But the best part, Trump's DOJ is turning up the heat. Trump said he was going after sanctuary cities, and now he's delivering after 2 illegal immigrants shot a federal officer in the face. Y'all remember this story we've been following? The DOJ slapped New York with a 37-page lawsuit. And guess what? They had ICE detainers. But NYC let them walk.
The Justice Department is suing New York City and Mayor Eric Adams over the city's migrant sanctuary policies. This is the same DOJ that dropped a corruption case against Adams earlier this year. This is also obviously why you've got this heated mayoral race going on in New York City, where the police officers are backing Eric Adams. You've got Cuomo in that race as well. And it comes days on the Democrat side, and it comes days after an off-duty CBP officer was shot in the face in a New York park by someone who was in the country illegally. Now, the feds say that both of these suspects were, as I said, here illegally. They had prior arrests, had been released back out onto the street repeatedly. Correspondent Nate Foy reports live. This is going to get a lot of attention, this lawsuit. Hi, Nate.
Hey, Martha. Yeah, the complicated relationship between the Trump administration and New York City Mayor Eric Adams gets even more complicated with this latest development. Just in the past few minutes, we're learning that the Justice Department has filed a lawsuit against the city of New York, as well as Mayor Adams and other New York City officials over its sanctuary policies. And we are just beginning to go through this report. It's a 37-page lawsuit, but essentially the argument from the Justice Department is that the sanctuary laws violate the supremacy clause of the Constitution. This is very similar to the arguments that we've seen the Trump administration make against Chicago and also Los Angeles. This was filed in the Eastern District of New York, and the lawsuit references those 2 illegal migrants that you just mentioned, accused of shooting an off-duty CBP officer in the face who's now in stable condition. Now, those migrants, both from the Dominican Republic, had been arrested several times by the NYPD in the years leading up to the shooting. Both of them were released multiple times despite having active ICE detainers and deportation orders in place. Now, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem blamed sanctuary policies for this shooting, and Border Czar Tom Homan had similar criticism today. Listen to this.
Absolutely. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. Hard stop. Bottom line, that's what it is. And the President Trump made a commitment a couple weeks ago that we're going to prioritize sanctuary cities. I made a statement the other day about New York. We're going to flood the zones. The sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the communities and more worksite enforcement.
And this is a nuanced situation for Eric Adams because he has criticized the sanctuary policies before, but also yesterday.
No, this isn't just about illegals. It's about elected officials choosing criminal protection over public safety. And while Trump enforces the law, the left is throwing tantrums. Speaking of tantrums, I want y'all to look at this. The same people crying about ICE raids just got arrested for occupying Trump Tower. They got warnings, they refused. NYP zip-tied them.
Bring them back! Bring them back!
This is the New York City Police Department. You are occupying these premises unlawfully and without
Yes, the modern activists. Break the law, ignore orders, film the arrest, scream fascism, and all this other stuff. But ICE doesn't got time for any games. And they're moving smarter now. You want to know how serious this has gotten? ICE agents are showing up masked. And the left is losing it. They say it's about transparency, but these agents are being doxxed, stalked, and threatened.
Across the country, scenes of chaotic ICE arrests have gone viral. A common sight has been fully masked ICE agents. The Trump administration insists masks are necessary to protect agents, but civil rights groups say this diminishes law enforcement's accountability. Here's what we know now. Can ICE agents wear masks?
Yeah, it's perfectly legal for them to do this, and the president has frankly encouraged it, and the Secretary of Homeland Security has encouraged it. The concern being raised by the administration is that these immigration agents are being targeted by gang members, they're being targeted by Antifa, they're being doxxed, as they say, which is, release of personal information like their home addresses, their family members. And so there's a fear of retaliation. That's why the agents are covering up who they are.
What are the concerns with masked ICE agents?
Civil liberties groups have another concern. They say basically that having these masked agents operating with very little accountability sort of runs counter to how policing in America has historically run, right? We don't see judges wearing masks. We don't see district attorneys wearing masks. We don't see local police officers wearing masks. Under only very, very limited circumstances do we ever see law enforcement in this country operate anonymously. The reason for that is this level of community accountability.
Are there concerns of ICE impersonators?
There's no sense of uniformity or a uniform at all. And so we are seeing an increase in impersonators. There is a concern that because these immigration agents are operating anonymously and without uniforms and without obvious identification, it becomes very, very easy for any Joe off the street to do the exact same thing.
Funny how the left wants police unmasked, but doesn't want to show you the crimes being committed behind sanctuary walls. And while they argue about face coverings, ICE is out here shutting down school, construction sites. Yep, this wasn't some shady back alley job. It was a public elementary school funded by taxpayers. And it was crawling with illegals using fake paperwork. ICE rolled up with helicopters and ATVs.
Our big story at 5 o'clock, another immigration raid on the Gulf Coast.
Oh, this one at a school construction site in Baldwin County. WKRG News 5's Debbie Williams joins us live now. And Debbie, the feds took almost a dozen workers into custody today.
Yeah, this happened at the construction site of the new Loxley Elementary School off County Road 64. And it happened right as workers there were beginning to take their morning break.
It was crazy. It was like literally everyone was running around and stuff.
A swarm of federal agents.
Mind-boggling, man. I had to take my phone out, record it, send it to my friends.
On four-wheelers, helicopters circling above the construction site of the new Loxley Elementary School, rounding up 11 workers that federal agents say are in the country illegally.
Bricklayers and our roofers. So now we got to find some roofers and bricklayers because we don't have any.
It is the latest immigration enforcement action in Baldwin County.
One of them came up to me and asked me where I was from, and I'm like, I'm from Silver Hill, Alabama, my whole life.
Baldwin County School Superintendent Eddie Tyler releasing a statement to News 5 that said in part, Baldwin County Public Schools is cooperating with federal investigators following a raid at the new Loxley Elementary School construction site. Our contracts with our construction projects require compliance with federal law. At this time, we have no indication of any wrongdoing. Just after 10 o'clock, a parade of law enforcement vehicles left the property, including the now familiar nondescript van transporting those arrested. It is a day at work Irv Ballenhoff won't soon forget.
It's definitely the most exciting thing that happened today, for sure.
So
now work continued at the work site after that raid. That school expected to open in the fall of 2026. Live on the Baldwin County beat, Debbie Williams, WKRG News 5.
this is what enforcement looks like. No more warnings. No more blind eyes, contractors, districts. Y'all don't notice. And when the arrests are made, you know how it ends. You want receipts? I want y'all to watch this. Planes, buses, full coordination. I can't play the audio because it's copyrighted. Yeah, can't play that. But no chaos, just execution. This was posted actually by Homeland Security today. These aren't roundups, they're removals. Now, the planes are flying, the borders are tightening, as y'all can see. And the only people panicking are the ones who profiting off of this lawlessness. And we know who those people are, right? But the real cost, that comes in this next clip.
Experience testifying, and Tammy, on a particularly difficult week for you because tomorrow, July 24th, is your daughter's birthday, and she was taken from you on July 27th, which is this coming Sunday. And I'm sure speaking about this never gets any easier. So tell us about the message that you wanted to convey yesterday.
I just wanted to let everyone know, especially Congress, what is actually happening. You know, what happened to Kayla, and that it didn't have to happen. It could have been prevented if Homeland Security and Health and Human Services would have just made that one phone call to El Salvador. It took the Aberdeen Police Department to make that one phone call to El Salvador to know that he was a known MS-13 gang member and had a criminal record in 2020 for illicit gang activity.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that because Senator John Cornyn yesterday says that he intends to introduce a bill called the Kayla Hamilton Act. Tell us a little bit more about that, and if it was implemented at the time of your daughter's murder, if that would have ever taken place.
Yes, so the Kayla Hamilton Act will require Health and Human Services to do a background check on unaccompanied minor children from the ages of 12 to 17 to see if they had any gang affiliation, any tattoos, and also it will also check all sponsors to see if they are here legally, phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers, because if the Kayla Hamilton Act was in place and they would have done a required background check, they would have known that he was a gang member and he would have never been allowed to enter. And also the other part of it is that he left his sponsor's house and they didn't check and verify who the sponsor was. Yeah. And the scary thing about not checking sponsors is all the younger children coming across the border. Who are they giving these children to? Where are they dropping them off? Who are these sponsors? It also protects them, and also it protects all children, right, and also American citizens from gang activity.
This is Kayla Hamilton's mother. You heard it. Her daughter was murdered by an MS-13 member who entered the U.S. as an accompanied minor under Biden's watch. One background check, one call to El Salvador. That's all it would have taken. This didn't happen because of ICE. It happened because the people in power ignored ICE. They got to sit with that. She didn't lose her daughter to fate. She lost it to a failed system protected by people who called themselves compassionate. Same thing. ICE was never the villain. Right now, they're acting as the cleanup crew, rather. And Trump, he just gave them the green light to go ahead and finish that job. And I ain't mad at it. NYC is obviously falling apart. Sanctuary cities are finally being exposed, and y'all seeing this meltdown is beginning. Y'all be safe, man. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.